October 1995, and SummerSlam sits at the crossroads of a changing industry. The issue opens with a blast of black ink and blunt opinion from editor Findlay Martin, immediately throwing readers into a world where Lex Luger has defected, Davey Boy Smith has turned heel, and the lines between federations are burning like magnesium. From the top wastes no space. The Allied Powers experiment is declared a creative disaster. Finn Martin recounts how the pairing of Made in the USA Lex Luger and the British Bulldog Davey Boy Smith collapsed after months of indifferent reactions and uninspired matches. Their first major outing at WrestleMania 11 drew polite applause, but no passion, and the tag team division's supposed saviors were met with yawns. By August, Davey Boy had turned on Diesel, setting himself up for a heel run, while Luger found himself adrift. Until he shocked the world by appearing on the debut episode of WCW Monday Nitro inside the Mall of America. Martin's tone is dripping with both awe and cynicism. You can tear strips off Lex Luger all day long for his inadequacies as a performer, he writes, but when the contract negotiations are in progress, he never blows a spot. From there, SummerSlam number 15 dives into the thick of the news, a true around-the-world snapshot of late 95 wrestling. The WWF section documents Goldust's debut on August 29th in Erie, Pennsylvania, his glittering entrance robe shimmering to Ric Flair's old theme before losing to Razor Ramon and injuring his hip in the process. Diesel is sidelined from a crushed abdomen courtesy of Mabel's careless mass at SummerSlam, while 1-2-3 Kid's ongoing saga with Razor and the emerging Dean Douglas is laid out in full, blow by blow, complete with speculation that this is the foundation of a Kid heel turn. Upcoming matches for In Your House 3 are listed like gospel. Diesel and Shawn versus Yokozuna and Owen Hart for all the gold. Douglas versus Razor. Brett versus Lafitte. Bigelow versus Smith. There's even the surreal transcript of Vince McMahon's appearance on AOL, where he cracks about caffeine, Goldust, and the Ultimate Warrior baying at the moon in the desert at 3:30 a.m. Elsewhere in WCW, the magazine covers Nitro's explosive debut with forensic clarity. Pillman versus Liger, Flair versus Sting, interrupted by Arn Anderson, and the shock reappearance of Lex Luger confronting Hulk Hogan after his title defense against Big Bubba. Martin's copy describes it all with dry British restraint. Stunned, the crowd were. But the big story is the backstage fight between Vader and Paul Orndorff, an ugly brawl that leaves Leon White sent home and Orndorff unpunished. The fallout is documented line for line, complete with the update that Luger was inserted into Fall Brawl's War Games and Halloween Havoc 95 cards in his place. The ECW coverage reads like a dispatch from another planet. 1,000 fans jammed into the ECW arena on August 26 to see Dean Malenko and Eddie Guerrero wrestle their final match before heading to WCW. Paul E. Dangerously's Danger Zone promo declaring war on Turner's company is quoted in full, ending with his defiant reminder that ECW would survive with or without its departing stars. SummerSlam prints it straight, without mockery, noting the handshake agreement between ECW and AAA and the upcoming Rey Mysterio Jr. versus Psychosis match. Proof that the underground was about to go global. Beyond the States, SummerSlam sweeps through the Ultimate Fighting Championship 7 results from Buffalo. Marco Ruas, victory over Paul Verhoeven's, Ken Shamrock's 33-minute draw with Oleg Taktarov before pivoting to Japan, where New Japan Pro Wrestling and UWFI announced their monumental inter-promotional supercard at the Tokyo Dome. Over 40,000 tickets already sold. Takada versus Muto confirmed. Ticket prices from £20 to £200. The article calls it a deal that will have both companies laughing all the way to the bank. Then comes the Joshi Revolution. Dynamite Kansai defeats Aja Kong for the WWWA World title on August 30th, the first outsider to ever hold AJW's crown. followed by Manami Toyota pinning Akira Hokuto in Budokan Hall, setting up a December showdown between Toyota and Kansai for the title. Every sentence is time-stamped, factual, and journalistic. The stateside column by Ian Robinson wrestles with philosophy. He calls the signings of Benoit, Malenko, and Guerrero the right move at the wrong time. His argument that WCW's audience, raised on Hogan-style excess, won't understand or appreciate three gimmick-free wrestlers with pure technical skill. Can you imagine what would happen if Guerrero crossed swords with Jim Duggan? He sneers, suggesting their brilliance will expose the company's cartoonish roster. He ends by calling WCW's management a circus that has no idea what it's just hired. Stately Wayne Manor takes over on page 11 with his patented blend of sarcasm and bile in Manor's Matt Musings, accusing unnamed Power Slam photographers of selling coverage to promotions, mocking Ian Robinson, and segueing into a meditation on the USWA versus SMW feud. Manor celebrates it as proof that wrestling's true hook is hatred, the soap opera of the sport. He calls Doug Gilbert's televised speech about his late brother Eddie one of the most heartfelt speeches ever delivered on a wrestling program, before ending with the kind of insult only he could write. I remember the first time I flew to Terry Funk's ranch for his annual puppy drowning festival. We were just passing over Tennessee. Then comes the main event feature, Feel the Heat, the definitive SummerSlam 95 review by Finn Martin. It opens with his bold declaration that SummerSlam was the greatest WWF pay-per-view in history, outshining even WrestleMania 10. The review meticulously recaps every match, 1-2-3 Kid versus Hakushi's crisp, psychological opener, Hunter Hearst Helmsley's clinical win over Bob Holly, the Smoking Guns' energetic tag against the Blue Brothers, Barry Horowitz's underdog triumph over Skip, Bret Hart's war with Jean-Pierre Lafitte, and the show-stealing ladder rematch between Razor Ramon and Shawn Michaels. The tone is journalistic but feverish, the kind of blow-by-blow detail that made Power Slam a Bible for mid-90s fans. Martin calls Michaels the premier worker in the World Wrestling Federation, and more importantly, its hottest piece of property. He ends the review with a line that feels prophetic. Why is he playing Robin to Diesel's Batman? It's high time for a role reversal in the WWF. The Q&A section follows with a historian's precision, tracing the NWA title back to John Pesek, clarifying Johnny Ace's identity, definitely not Barry Windham, and listing the full lineage of the WWF Intercontinental Championship, from Pat Patterson's fictional Rio de Janeiro tournament to Shawn Michaels' third reign in July 1995. Every date, every switch, every correction, printed like scripture. And buried at the back, Power Slam's letters section, titled Smashing SummerSlam, A Note from the Asylum, and Monster Heel Mania, caps it all with reader venom, praise, and personality. Then the closing line, the cheeky British mic drop that defined the magazine's era. Your teeth are disgusting, Isaac. Power Slam issue number 15 isn't nostalgia. It's evidence. A frozen frame of September 1995, when kayfabe journalism was sharp, cynical, and brilliantly alive. This is From the Pages.